Hey everybody. So I'm actually sitting here in my car, right where all the new DR Hortons are getting built here in Harriman, just north of their high school. Kind of headed into Morgan County area. If you're from this area, drive by. You've been seeing the construction now for several months. Their DR Horton's always very quiet on what they're doing. They actually don't even do the land prep themselves. Another company comes in here and does it, and then of course they take over after everything's been arguably signed off on and approved. So I'm sitting here because I wanted to see it. Right, they got a couple houses up here. They don't have anything for sale, but they have a couple houses they're already siding, roof, windows, good to go. Working on the inside. Because I know we're going to have several buyers that are interested out here. So I wanted to come out here, but I have some time between my showings. And I want to talk about something that it's really happened to us recently with our rentals, because I think it's a unique situation and really speaks to why you got to adjust in our market as far as buying and selling and renting changes. It really does. It goes up, down, crazy, non-crazy, and one of the things that is kind of like a philosophy. It's not gonna have it wrote down, but I act quick. Right. I may take a while to research and understand it, but I feel like once I get a good understanding, right, and I will act very quick and maneuver and change based on the cards I'm dealt, you could say. And when we bought this rental, it's right off of Clinch. I mean, a block away from UT campus, essentially. Great location. We bought it, and it came fully furnished, which was cool, right? Came literally fully furnished. Now we've bought a few more odds and ends and improved it with all the furnishings quite a bit. But we wanted to do an Airbnb like everybody else, right? It's super popular, wanted to do it, and we started doing it, and we're successful. We had lots of bookings. We were very successful. We had found some cleaners, or Carrie was going over and cleaning it. But what we learned during that time, I don't know how long we were Airbnb-ing it, probably, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 months maybe. And really what we learned was we're not making a whole lot more money per month than based off what we could currently rent this for long term. So I really got looking, I'm like, man, Carrie's spending so much time managing this for us. So is her time, these, and I don't know the hours, but almost daily she's got something, or she's going over and cleaning for 2 hours on move in, move outs, and we're only making like a couple $100 more than if we just had a long-term tenant in there and didn't do anything. Plus, we were providing chips and waters and all the extra stuff, for people to get the better reviews. And so our numbers, just to me, I was like, I think we can make this a long-term rental, make $200 or $300 less, $400 less a month, but not have to worry about it, right? Get all this time back that we're spending doing this and dealing with problems, right? Because Airbnb, if they have problems, you got to get to it right then and there. Long-term tenant don't really complain about the same problems Airbnb does. And so we made the decision, hey, this makes sense for us to move this over. And, we posted it up, had applications, just slew of applications, pick of the litter, ended up going with a kid, that parents kind of were on the lease and signed the lease. And he was there like 2 years, 2.5 years maybe, a long time. Great tenant. Fantastic tenant. And so he actually graduated from University of Tennessee in December. And so we had known, for since really call it October that he was going to be leaving. And so we actually posted the place up, for rent in December to start in January. Now, right on campus, right, that is a change in the semester. Most kids on campus have rent, all year round. Basically, their rent ends in July. So they go from August to July. It's kind of like when the typical rental calendar is. So we knew we were going to struggle on getting, but we were hoping there was going to be some, transfer students, some exchange students come in and be able to do it. And we just didn't really have any luck. And we realized we were at top market value. We ended up lowering it. Still not much success. So I kind of made the decision. I was like, hey, we don't have anybody doing it right now. We're basically, this semester essentially started. So now we know it's going to be really hard when the semester started to get any long-term tenant in here. Let's just take it back to Airbnb. And so that's what we've done. And we've actually had tremendous success. Again, taking it back now, we learned some things from before. And especially with cleaning fees and getting a good cleaner, that we're now feel a whole lot better about our situation, and paying it money that we're making, and Carrie's spending less time involved in it to make. But our plan is to only kind of do this through May. Maybe hope we get a summer person come in here for next year, or if depending on where we're at, we may extend it all the way through July. And then ideally whenever, go ahead and start trying to find a tenant to move in August full time. But I think it's just real important we made that adjustment, right? Because otherwise it's sitting there, we're not making no money off of it. Well, now at least with Airbnb, I was like, man, maybe we could just at least make a couple $100 here or there. But it looks like we're at the point now where we're going to be profitable every single month, with Airbnb, to, pay off the mortgage, make some money, and pay the cleaners, and again, be a profitable, Airbnb, which is great because we didn't really know what to expect because there's competition in our place. And so, strategically I went in and we kind of priced our stuff lower than them, try to get lower cleaning fees. So when people were really comparing dollar to dollar, they're going to pick our unit over some of theirs. Did that very strategically. So I just kind of wanted to share that sometimes you're presented with cards, you got to make pivots, you got to make changes, you got to do it quick. And our plan is we really don't want to be long-term Airbnb in this long-term. We'd like to get another long-term tenant in there, but it's going to be difficult, currently based on where we are, but we're hoping, as we get into later in the semester, into the summer, that we do find that person moving in August, then we don't have to do the Airbnb anymore. So wanted to share that, just again, cause thought it was interesting. People may be in the same situation to where you have a place sitting there and not been rented out. Well, post it up on Airbnb. You can actually set the calendar. You can say, well, I'm still going to advertise the long-term rental, which is what we were doing. And we opened it up for 2 weeks at a time. So the first, hey, listen, the next rolling 14 days, it's open for people to book. But if we run into a long-term tenant, right, we could tell them move-ins in 2 weeks. So that way we're kind of like making a little bit of money, limping along, paying the bills, versus just not paying anything. So yeah, but as always, guys, if you got questions, feel free to holla.